You go, boy.
Hey, world. The hits just keep on coming. I promised you guys the best of the best. You thought we went big last episode when main man Michael Lombardi. The band is back together, in the words of Kevin Nash. We got the whole NWO here.
The band is back together.
Adnan Virk is here. Wave to the crowd, baby.
Ugo, it's great to see you again, man. This is awesome that we're doing this. You're right, the band is back together again. It was great to hear from you. And as soon as you said Lombardi had been on, I said, well, obviously I got to come on too. You did an awesome job with us as a producer of the GM Shuffle, man. You're always so thorough and clear-cut in your direction. Give us all the information we needed and funny and responsive. We'd be doing stuff. You'd be giving us, like, pump fists or laughing and stuff. So it was awesome. You did a fantastic job with us. I never got to properly thank you for all that. But thank you for all your help with the Shuffle. And I hope this pod is going great. And I'm glad we're rolling.
Awesome. Episode 22 of the U-Goboy Podcast. Let's go, baby.
I don't care about the top 10, the top 5, or who the best is. Money straight, my fam straight, I'm George straight, that's Texas. Angel wings on a Lambo, praise the Lord, that's a blessing. Bentley truck like Lex Luger, yeah, nigga, I'm flexing. I'm Richard Sherman, I back it up. And your mama, I stack it up. Hey, Poppy, yo, Gotti, swear to God, I rack it up. Still Jersey, that's all day.
You go, boy.
All right. Hey, world. I need some drops.
You go, boy.
Savage. Yahtzee.
Is this what you want?
We got drops, Adnan. We got a lot of drops.
I'm blown away by the level of your production quality right now. I do cinephile for the Metal Art family. I do not get these drops every 10 seconds. This is a great job, buddy. I'm already
Thank you. It's your boy.
You go, boy.
You go, boy. We got Marv on the boards, as always. Live from lovely Bravery Studios.
Bravery up.
I promised you guys the best of the best. I wasn't kidding. This is an amazing run I'm on. I feel like Hulk Hogan when he joined the NWO. The band's back together. So I had Mike on last episode. This episode, let's get right to the intro. Let's skip the formalities. Let's not stand on ceremony, Mr. Wayne. All right, okay. He's been with the MLB Network, DAZN. He's also been with ESPN, the former co-host of the GM Shuffle, The Score, TSN, as well as WWE, one of the most popular faces in sports media. My man, Adnan Virk is here!
Ugo, I just came for the intro. I don't think we can top that. It was fantastic. With the horns and your energy. That's good. Good night, everybody.
Nah, man. I actually shout out to Jason E and my girl Ash with the first class, second place podcast. It's one of those names. I was on there the other night and they asked me, when I was putting together a show, like why you have so much energy and drops and this, that, and the third. And I was like, everybody in the world's doing podcasts now. I've got to do something to separate and differentiate myself. So hence the drops, hence the energy, hence the logo, hence the merch. Grab some merch, by the way. Link in the bio. Bravery Studios. So, I want this to be an experience, Adnan. That's the point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's 100% true, Ugo. People ask me all the time, hey, I'd like to start a podcast. How do I do it? And I tell them, there's three genuine aspects to it. One is the content, right? Do you have actual solid quality of content? The second one, which you are A+ right now, is your production value. Like, do you have a good microphone? Do you have good video? Does it sound well? Like, you guys are like off the charts in your production quality. And then the third one, which is the hardest one, which is the promotion, which I still haven't figured out yet. I mean, if someone tells you just go take a billboard in Times Square and walk around like the naked cowboy, okay, sure, I'll do it. But that one I don't know, because podcasts are so oversaturated.
Facts.
And
Big
yet
facts.
it's underdeveloped. Like, think about that. There's way too many of them, but not enough people listen to podcasts yet. The average podcast listener, I think, is 28, 29. So you've got like 40 plus all these people who are unaware of how to listen to a podcast. So it's, dude, you're crushing the production value off the chart.
Give me 10 Ric Flairs. Oh, man. that was Mike's favorite drop, by the way, Adnan. He loved
the Ric Flair is tough to top.
Flair.
I'm so happy in my brief time at WWE, I did get to meet him briefly. He's got great presence about him. Thankfully, I didn't woo in his face, but he's awesome. Man.
Yes, that makes two of us. I met him as well. His son was wrestling when I was at St. Benedict's Prep. So I was leaving, and a friend of mine, Ryan Armstrong, rest in peace, buddy, miss you. I was getting ready to hop on a bus to go home, and he's like, "Bro, Rick's here." I'm like, "Rick who?" He's like, "Flair." So I went out, I printed up a quick picture of the Four Horsemen in the computer lab, ran down to the gym, and lo and behold, Nature Boy was there, dapped him up. He was super cool, super cool. He's just like, "I'm just here to see my son. Hey, how you doing?" And he was just locked in. He was in full dad mode.
Yeah, I mean, those guys can all play different roles. There's the role they're playing on camera, the role they're playing at the ring, the role in life. Like I said, when they're full dad mode, that's dad mode. When they got to strap it on, they'll woo it up and be like,
"Woo it up. Give me a couple more woos. Give me three more. I love it. So let's kick off with WWE since we started with the wrestling talk. I remember when I saw you on there. How did that come together? How did the whole WWE, like, did a producer just come up to me like, "Hey, Adnan, want to do some WWE?" Like, how did that come together?
It's incredible. I can't believe it happened. Matt Olson, my agent, just gave me a call to Blue and goes, "Listen, what do you think about WWE?" And I said, "God, I was a huge wrestling fan as a kid. I mean, Demolition to this day, I still hear from
nice.
Demolition, Natural Disaster. Of course, as you said, Hulk Hogan. I mean, I think about WrestleMania, especially in Canada, Skydome, Hulk Hogan. The fact that it threw down Andre the Giant, to me, it still blows my mind. But you name it, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Jake the Snake. I mean, all those guys, Jimmy the Superfly Snuka, that whole era of wrestling we all loved. I said I haven't watched it as much recently. I got away from it. But my kids are young and they're kind of getting into it a little bit. So I don't know a ton, but I love wrestling and I have great respect for it, which I think is the most important thing, Hugo, as you know. There's those who love wrestling. There's those who don't mind wrestling. And there's those who knock wrestling, who just don't get it. And I have no time for the third people. Like, it's okay if you say it's not my thing, but especially having been there, man, the level of athleticism, the quality of what they're doing is incredible. And I saw it up close. I'm like, the remarkable athletes, period. And all superior people. Like, everyone there is so down to earth and funny and charming and genuine. The writers work so hard putting all the storylines together. Obviously, Vince McMahon lording over it all. So I have master's respect for the whole operation. Anyways, Matt says to me, "WWE, what do you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's available?" He's like, "Yeah, they might have an opening on Monday Night Raw." I'm like, "Oh my God." I said, "Yeah, sign me up." So I flew down there for an audition. I auditioned with Corey Graves, who was awesome.
Oh yeah, nice.
Michael Cole was the one overseeing everything. Cole's obviously not only an incredible announcer, but also oversees all the talent department. So what was helpful was they'd sent me a couple of matches just that I was going to call. So I went back, I did my own research, dug up some notes, whatever, watched the matches, kind of tried to get the cadence down. And I haven't done a ton of play-by-play, mainly baseball, but generally you call a little action, let the guy jump in. And Graves is so talented. Like, literally, I meet him, and already I could tell we would have the right cadence and the flow, that I would know where to jump in. He would know where to jump in. So I get to meet a few people, shake hands, kiss some babies, go home. And, I feel pretty good about it, but they're auditioning other people. So you never know. And then my agent, Matt, says, I know what you're going to be doing on Monday night. So I was like, "Oh, my God, I got the job." He's like, "Yeah." Now, you have to remember, Hugo, the timing of this. I love the drop. I need to stop for the drops.
Okay, sorry.
You have to remember, this is 2021, so we're in the midst of COVID. At this time, they were only doing the matches in Florida.
Yeah, down in Tampa, right? Tampa.
Correct, in
right.
Tampa.
Yeah.
And this is before vaccinations are widespread.
True.
And I have a full-time job at the MLB Network. So Matt has to go to my boss, Rob McGlary, and go, "Adnan has a potential opportunity with WWE to call Monday Night Raw. Thoughts?" And he's like, "Okay, first off, he's got to get vaccinated. Like, tomorrow. Like, we're not going to let him go to Florida and come back and forth if he's not vaccinated."
Yeah. Totally.
Boom. My agent is so good, and he's able to, I don't know what they did. The next day, he's like, "You have an appointment in Atlantic City to get vaccinated." I'm like, how did I jump the line that quickly? He's like, "Answer no question. You're driving 2 hours to Atlantic City. You're going to get vaccinated." "Okay, done. No problem." So we do that. I think Matt goes to Rob. Rob kind of laughs. That was quick. He's like, "Well, you should get vaccinated." And then you see the other big thing is that, we'll give him this allowance to be gone Sunday night and then back Tuesday morning. But you got to understand, this goes both ways. Like, he still has to be available for us all week. If we need him Sunday morning, no problem. And Tuesday, when he flies back, he's going to come right to work, right? Like, we just give this guy preferential treatment. So I was like, I totally get it. I understand that. So that was really challenging, just trying to figure out the logistics of that, make sure everybody was on board. But once that was given clearance, I'm like, all right, great, let's do it. So I remember he flew me down for WrestleMania. And it was like this big secret. I'm like, dude, I should might as well have like a fedora, like a trench coat. Oh my God.
I love
So
it. I
I'm
love it.
backstage. I meet Graves. I meet Byron Saxton. Greg Hamilton, by the way, was unbelievable. Greg also was there during the audition process, and he was so great. He first met me. We went for lunch. He was like, dude, you're going to be great. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I haven't been in this world in a while. And he's going to do, trust me, you're going to love this place. Anyway, so I hung out backstage, met some people. I remember Peter Rosenberg. I met him from ESPN. I was
Oh, nice.
him, obviously,
Nice.
Booker T. I'm seeing all these people. And then I got my debut on Monday. And the story comes out Monday morning from my buddy Richard Deitch. And Hugo, the phone is blowing up. I to this day, I'm 500 text messages.
Oh, man.
And a lot of the wrestling people like yourself, who I have friends who are like, how could you not tell me? I'm like, listen, I was under lock and key. I was not allowed to tell anybody. And honestly, I got the job because Michael Cole saw something in me, saw that I was different. And Nick Khan, my former agent, president at WWE, Nick obviously vouched for me, said, listen, I know Adnan. I've represented him for 8 years as my client. He's a good guy. He'll work hard. We're good to go. So then it's showtime. I don't know any better. I don't know how things like ribbons get ready. I'm like, I don't know. We'll find out. And I had a blast. Corey and Byron could not have been more genuine, more supportive. And the whole thing everyone wants to know is, what about Vince? So I have not met him. He was not there at the show meeting that first day, the first Raw, which is April 12th, my mom's birthday. Called the match. And then afterwards, Cole's like, whatever you do, when you go home, don't look at social media. Okay? They're going to crush you. Don't look at Twitter. No matter what. It's not going to be positive. Look, okay. He's like, we're going to talk about what you did well, where you can improve. I thought you did okay. You made some mistakes, but we're going to get through that. But don't look at social media. I'm like, okay. So I do my best to avoid that. And then other people, of course, do it for you. My dad's like, oh, this guy's crushing over here. My mom's like, I'm like, no, I don't want to know. Like, if people like me, they don't like me. All I have to worry about is Vince McMahon. That's it. So we do the second show. You know, it definitely is up and down. And afterwards, I get summoned to go meet Vince. And like you, I'm a super fan of the guy. Like, I have deep respect for him, but I'm also picturing Mr. McMahon, the character. And Cole's telling me, all right, you're going to meet him. Just, be respectful. Yes, sir. No, sir. Take some notes, whatever he says. I'm like, uh-huh. I think somebody said to me, don't nod. Like, when you're talking to me, he doesn't like when people are nodding.
Oh, my God. That's
so
ridiculous.
Make eye contact, but also make notes, but don't nod. I'm like, okay. And don't speak when spoken to. I'm like, all right. So, like, there we go. So I go back and see him. And as you'd expect, immaculately dressed, great shape, polite, respectful, and direct. Exactly what you expected of Vince McMahon. He was just like, all right, here's what you need to work on. And I'm just making notes and not nodding. Sure
not nodding.
Yeah, no nodding, writing. Don't look at his eyes. Okay, look down. Uh-huh. And he gave me a ton of feedback. Probably like 20 things. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Main things, he was like, less is more, right? He's like, it's not like radio, and lean on these guys. And you haven't called wrestling before, so it's okay. I don't expect you to know certain moves. You don't know it, don't call it. Just give it a like sell the energy, sell the storyline, the big pictures. Corey and Byron, those guys are wrestlers. They all know every single move. So kind of do that. But at the end, he said, you're doing well. And I was like, it doesn't feel like it. He kind of gave a smile. I was like, no, it takes time. I'm like, all right, great. Third show again, do it. Summon back to Vince, give some more feedback, go from there. We do a few more shows. But I got to be honest, I did not enjoy the travel because, again, I'm flying every Sunday to Tampa. I've got 4 kids, as you know. They're now 14, 11, 6, and 4. My 6-year-old at the time was very upset with me because I would always pick him up from school, then I would go to work at MLB. So I was literally gone for a couple of days. So it was unpleasant from that perspective. I already knew going in, I said, this is going to be hard to pull off 52 weeks a year. Because one thing about those guys, they are incredibly dedicated. Nobody takes vacation, like zero. If you take time off, you're gone from Tuesday to Saturday. Like, take a 5 days to Dominican and come back. You're not missing shifts. And I knew, again, with balancing baseball and NHL Network and DAZN, I was still doing some boxing, I think, at the time. So it was a lot. Anyways, we go through it. It's a great experience. After 7 weeks, they're like, listen, we want to make a change. I was like, I get it. You want something different. We thought probably best to part ways now. But I have no regrets, man. I still can't believe I got to do it. And I wish it had gone a little longer. I wish I'd been a little better. As I said to some of my friends, I said, I took the job saying this would be a great chapter in my book. I wish the chapter was a little longer. But the bottom line is this. I made great friends. Speaking of Graves, I'm going to have him on MLB Network tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
I texted him. He was a huge Pirates fan. I said, you want to come on and talk Pirates? Like, of course. I texted Michael Cole. Of course, Nick will always be a dear friend. He's my agent forever. Nick called me afterwards and said, listen, you did your best. I'm glad we did this. So no regrets. Sometimes you do your best. Things don't work out as well as you can. And looking back, I wish I'd taken a bump. I wish somebody had given me a suplex now if I'd known. But the people there, big respect. My favorites, Jinder Mahal was awesome. Drew McIntyre, Big E. Natalia's great, Mandy Rose. I mean, they're all really, really friendly to me and really supportive. So it's a unique experience, man. Again, I gave you a snippet. In the book, I'll have even better stories, but I gave you a little taste.
Oh, my God. Give me 3 Dom DeMarcos, Marv, please.
Dom DeMarco.
That's an incredible story. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We got Adnan Virk here on episode 22 of the U-Goboy Podcast. live from Bravery Studios.
You go, boy.
You got to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest. Shout out to Pat McAfee, too. Can I get a round of applause for Pat McAfee? We go live / pre-taped. So when I went on with Mike a couple days ago, I kind of predicted, because I heard from my sources, and Mike also predicted that he was going to get the ESPN deal, and he confirmed it on his YouTube channel. I'm so proud of him. I'm so happy for him, and it's exciting because his brand of sports talk is my brand of sports talk. It's kind of because I do sports talk on here. Shout out to Mongo. Give me a round of applause for my main man Mongo. He's my co-host. That's my ride or die right here. That's my buddy. He's my, I think I'd be Kevin Nash. He'd be Scott Hall if we were the Outsiders, for sure. Or if we were the Hart Foundation, I'm definitely Bret Hart, 100%. He's definitely Anvil. He's 100% Anvil. Like, so yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. So, let's keep it going here. We're gonna wrap in a couple minutes since you got to head out. But let's get to baseball talk. So MLB Network. How did you get wrapped up in baseball? You're Canadian, so you loving baseball is beautiful. Absolutely. How'd you get with the MLB Network? And we'll get some quick baseball talk before we get you out of here.
Yeah, they've been awesome to me, Hugo. I got hired in 2019. Was doing some stuff with DAZN. We had a show called Change It. Me and Scott Rogowski. Scott remains a dear friend. I'm seeing him for dinner tonight in the city. He's one of my favorite people, man. He's so funny, huge Mets fan, and he's genuine and sincere. And we have a great producer, Anthony Jimenez, we worked in. So we're going to have a little reunion tonight as well. So reunion with you and Lombardi tangentially. Reunion tonight with my DAZN guys, Rogowski and Jimenez. Anyways, we do the show with DAZN, goes a year. They're like, you know what, we want to go a different direction. COVID happens, etc. But I had signed with MLB Network. So originally the deal was I was going to do 6 months on DAZN doing this show called Change Up. I would still do boxing events for DAZN, and then I would do MLB Network and NHL Network in the offseason. Instead, the show goes away in DAZN. MLB Network says, no problem, we'll just use you full-time all year round. And they've been awesome, man. Nice. I'm working with Harold Reynolds now. We have our own show at 6 o'clock Eastern. I encourage people to check it out weeknights. We call it MLB Tonight First Pitch. And it's awesome. We got live looks, we got demos, we got interviews with players. I do a little segment called the AV Files, an essay on whatever topic, whatever player in baseball. AV Club, we have interviews on, which is why Graves is coming on to talk Pirates. So it's been awesome. And MLB Tonight, I'm a lifelong baseball fan, as I said, as a Canadian. And for me, it was always baseball in the summer, hockey in the winter. Then once I got into high school, I got into basketball, got into football, but it's always been second nature to me. I laugh all the time, man. I can't believe people are paying me to talk about baseball. If you told me when I was just 10 years old, I would laugh in your face. So jokes on all of you that somehow this has happened to me.
Oh my God. Give me 3 Don DeMarcos, 3 more Don DeMarcos. Can I get 2 more Ric Flairs too? Like this is epic. Yeah, listen, if you're working in something you love, it's not work. It's living the dream. You know what I mean? So sports media. So when I got to Penn State, I remember, just a quick backstory on me. When I got to Penn State, I thought I was gonna be a sports doctor. And I was like, after buying the book for calculus, I'm like, that's not happening. So I was like, listen, if I can't be a sports doctor, how about I talk about sports or cover sports? Because I love sports. I'm a sports nerd, sports junkie. And in that world of sports media, there's just so many avenues and so many outlets. I'm actually going to be a guest speaker at Comp Sci High this Friday in Bronx, New York, with one of my best friends, Edward Mosley, who is a guest on the show too. And I get to talk about me being in this world of sports media, working with Odyssey, working with the world famous Harlem Wizards. A round of applause for the Harlem Wizards. Love those guys. And of course my show, which I get to, get my Pat McAfee on. I'd love to get a contract like Pat McAfee at some point. That's the goal.
Yeah, but say, you're giving Pat a lot of love. What I give him love on is the money. I mean, I am remarkable how much money he's making. I mean, the FanDuel deal, I think, was $30 million a year. So for him to opt out of that, must have got a raise. Let's say he's getting $35 million right now from ESPN. It's amazing. But you're right. He's a good dude. We were briefly at DAZN together, so I was on a show.
Oh, nice. I did not know that.
And it was like, and our hirings coincided at WWE because I was doing Raw, and I think shortly after McAfee got hired to do SmackDown. So I remember seeing Pat at one of the pay-per-views, and we were talking and laughing. And I asked him for advice. I should have asked him for financial advice, but I asked him for career advice. And he said kind of like what you and I both know, which is that once you can own your own product, that's the way to go. He's like, you're an employee for ESPN. You're an employee right now for MLB Network. Eventually, you want Adnan Virk Incorporated. And
absolutely.
You do your own thing, and once you can build it up. And I said, well, Pat, not all of us are Pat McAfee. Like, if I go on my own, no one's going to listen to this. He's like, well, you build up enough of a following, do your own thing, it's your own equity. So he has done a remarkable job with that. It really is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Can I get a Fat Joe? We're talking money.
Yesterday's price It's not today's price.
If we're talking money, Fat Joe, he just has to show up, so I love it. No, so again, one more round of applause for Pat McAfee one more time. Good stuff, buddy. Hopefully I can get you on as a guest. That's the goal. That's definitely the goal. So let's get to some baseball talk too, before we let you go and get you out of here. So, things weren't looking good I'm a Yankee fan, as you know from you and Mike, where I was insufferable with my love for the Cowboys. Can I get a how about them Cowboys? I was insufferable with my love for the Cowboys and for the Yankees, but they've turned things around a little bit. They're doing pretty well right now. They knocked off the Toronto Blue Jays last night, last two games. Are you a Blue Jay fan? I never asked you this. You're a Blue Jay fan, I'm guessing.
But you're right. You're right to not assume, because people often assume I'm a Leafs fan, and I'm not a Leafs. I'm a huge Flyers fan.
Okay.
I was born in Toronto. I grew up in Kingston, which is a few hours away. My brother was a huge Oilers fan because of Gretzky in that era. So 85 and 87, they played the Flyers. So I've been a Flyers fan since I was 7 or 8 years old. So recently, the Leafs obviously got knocked out by the Panthers. The amount of people were like, hey, celebrate your Leafs. I go, I'm not a Leafs fan. I was on the radio until Rosillo on ESPN Radio. The Leafs brew an epic game against the Bruins. And each guest is going, Andy Katz, hey, Andy, celebrate your Leafs, because he's not a Leafs fan. He's a Flyers fan. So you are right to never just assume, oh, he's from Toronto, he's this. But yes, I do support the Blue Jays. Dude, Yankees, I love Aaron Judge. Obviously, the guy's incredible for the sport. He's a tower of power.
Absolutely.
And I love Aaron Boone. Booney's my old buddy from ESPN. I still text him. He hooks me with the Yankee tickets once in a while. So the guy's the best. It's been an important series for the Yankees because the Blue Jays are really talented and very good. And there's some friction there. There's genuine rivalry with both of these teams. That division, Ugo, every single team is above 500. Best division in baseball. It's been like that for years. So it's going to be a dogfight. Whoever wins that division, probably the Rays. I think it's going to be 3 wildcard teams coming out of that division. They could be Orioles, Yankees, Jays, all wildcard teams. The Central's bad as usual. Maybe the Twins win the division or Cleveland. And the West right now, Texas is the best team in that division. The 3 games up. Astros defending champions, a bit of a World Series hangover. So it's going to be a challenge. But for the Yankees, you're right. They kind of held serve. Big series they just had against the Rays. Went 2-2. Would have liked to have taken 3 and 4, but every game a one-run game. They had 2 huge comebacks on Friday and Saturday. And they've won these first 2 against the Blue Jays. So I'm curious what happens these next couple of games. And they got the Reds on the weekend. So it's going to be a dogfight, man. It's going to be a long season.
Oh yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel. So my issue coming into the year, I felt like Cashman could have done more. I'm very nervous about Rodon. I don't know if he's going to pitch this year, but I am excited. Severino's coming back. They've got something with this kid Volpe. He's special. I can see why they didn't want to trade him. They had their pick of the litter of shortstops over the last few years, but they stuck with this Volpe kid, and he's come up with some big hits early on in the year. He shows power, really good glove, super athletic, and a demon on the base pads. Just a full 5-tool player. Like how excited are you about Volpe? What player comp would you give him?
Yeah, in general, you're right. The team kind of feels at times a little old, a little unathletic. So he's the opposite of that. Obviously, he's young and he's dynamic and he's fast. And his speed in the base paths. There was a game the other day watching the highlights. He was on first. He steals second, steals third. Then there was a wild pitch. He went home. Like, that's incredible. The guy literally just manufactured an entire run by himself. I was at one of my kids' baseball practices, and I'm sitting next to this guy, and we're chatting, and then his wife is there, and she's like, oh, I'm related to Anthony Volpe. This was like 2 months ago. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, hopefully he makes the team. I heard a lot about this kid for years now. Kind of like your point, like, oh, I hope he's pretty good. They could have gotten Luis Castillo, didn't want to trade Volpe. Could have had this guy, didn't want to trade Volpe. Like, this guy's supposed to be incredible. And she's like, yeah, hopefully he makes the team. So it was just funny making that connection. I was like, oh, yeah, of course, Jersey, Italian kid, Italian Filipino.
Paisan.
So, the story is hysterical, right? Because it's like he grew up admiring Jeter, and now he's the shortstop for the Yankees. He's got all these expectations. Jeter-esque. So it's like, dude, just let the guy do his thing so far. So I'm with you that he's fun to watch, and especially the power lately. I think he only had 3 home runs his first 37 games, something like 3 home runs his last 6 games. So he's definitely picked up that department. Batting average a little bit low, but you expect that out of a rookie. It'll take some time to improve. But he was batting 9th at one point. Then he was batting leadoff. So Aaron Boone does want to move him around a little bit. So I think he's important. I think he's special. Like, it's hard to just come up to the majors and hit the ground running, but he's done a decent job of acquitting himself. I share your concern about Rodon. When they signed him, I'm like, oh, 6-year, 162, that's a lot. But this guy's been a top 10 pitcher the last 2 years, except for the injuries. And then, bam, it was like, gonna miss a start or two, not ready for the start of the year. Now I think we're hitting late June, cortisone shot for the back. So I'm hoping they get him half the year, but I totally understand your pessimism in saying, I don't know if he's going to pitch this year. By the way, he's still got 5 more years to deal after that. Like, you've got to hope this guy gets right sooner rather than later. But Sevy is coming back. Cole's looked tremendous. He's been Cy Young caliber so far. Herman, until last night, getting tossed for using the sticky stuff, has been really good. Although maybe now we know why he's doing so well because of sticky stuff. But
I love it.
they could use some help with those reinforcements like Severino. You're right.
Oh yeah, let me get 3 savages real quick. Man,
Savage.
like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's squeeze one more in, and then we're gonna do a round of rapid fire. Can I get some bombs for some rapid fire? Rapid fire. It's kind of like 21 questions. Rest in peace to James Lipton. So we'll wrap with that. But real quick, before we get to that point, so you pretty much outlined the AL. Over to the NL now. Dodgers are making a comeback. Dodgers are making a comeback. Who do you like out of the National League? Because that West, that wild west with them and the Diamondbacks and the Giants and the Padres, of course, who almost won it all last year. Who do you like out of the West right now? I mean, it's out of the National League.
The Padres spent a ton of money, but so far they've been a disappointment. Their pitching's been much better in the month of May. Michael Walker had a great start the other day. Darvish, Blake Snell, but they're just not hitting. Now, I love Fernando Tatis. I know he took a big hit reputation-wise, the PEDs, but he's such an exciting player to watch. Okay, every time Nando's up, he's exciting. He's got a cannon for an arm in right field. I was watching the highlights last night. Threw a guy out at third. I'm like, you cannot run on this guy. His throws average 100 miles an hour. It's incredible, and he's just so much fun to watch. He's so charismatic. Soto's been playing better lately. Machado's had a bad season, and I love Manny, but he's really just struggled immensely, as has most of this lineup. So San Diego, they got the boots put to them against the Dodgers. They swept them this past week. And LA, as you mentioned, slow start to the year in April. Now they're back. Will Smith, to me, is one of the best catchers in baseball. Kershaw just pitched last night, just after the death of his mother, by the way. So he told Dave Roberts, I still want to make this start. And then after that, maybe take a few days for bereavement leave and the funeral, but still as effective as ever. Kershaw's one of the top 5 pitchers in baseball, even now at 34 in a 1-year deal. So they've got Tony Gonsolin. They've got Max Muncy leading the league in home runs with 14. So Dodgers still the class of the West. You're right about Arizona, though. Surprisingly good right now. They're better than the Padres. They're going to push them a little bit. Giants, I still think it's another year of rebuilding, and the Rockies aren't very good. Central, again, bad division. Hopefully for Graves, the Pirates going to hang in. But it probably feels like eventually the Brewers win that division. St. Louis has been one of the bigger stories of the sport. They've been horrible. They're still in last place, but they're only 6.5 games out because the division's so bad. But I think the best team in the National League is the Atlanta Braves. It is a first-class run organization. They've got so much talent up and down that lineup. Ronald Acuna has been the MVP of the league so far. They've got Matt Olson. You've got Austin Riley. You've got Ozzie Albies. Pitching-wise, they got lots of depth. Charlie Martin looked great the other day. So I still think it's Atlanta coming out of the National League. But you're right. The Dodgers are starting to look like the Dodgers the last couple of weeks, which is bad news for everybody else.
Oh yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Give me 3 Don Cannons right there. Adnan's letting it fly early on a Wednesday. Before we get to the rapid fire, real quick. So, I mean, this is the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area. We got to the Yankees. What the hell's going on with the Mets? I mean, we got a couple Met fans I know personally, but you get Verlander, you bring back Scherzer. I said this personally. Them missing out on Correa is going to come back to haunt them, and it has, because they've missed that type of presence to go with Polar Bear, to go with Lindor. They don't really have anybody that really scares you in that lineup, and they're not hitting and they're not pitching, and they're 3 games under for the first time ever with Buck Showalter. What the hell's going on with the Mets?
It's a mess right now, man. I'm going to be at Citi Field in a couple weeks. May 31st, as a matter of fact. We have a showcase game there on MLB Network, so I'll try to do some investigating there for your Mets fans on the crew. But I'm with you. And the problem is everyone focused on the pitching at first, but I'm with you. It's the hitting. Mark Canha hit 266 a year ago. He's hitting 236. Lindor's hitting 220. That'll be the lowest of his career. Jeff McNeil won a batting title last year, 326. He's hitting 265. Alonso was hitting a ton of home runs out of the gate. He has slowed down considerably. So they really need some offensive help, and it's become contagious in a bad way. One guy's not hitting, the whole lap's not hitting. Like it's very hard to see any sort of productivity right now. Francisco Alvarez, the Mets rookie catcher, he's been decent the last couple of games, and then we get to their pitching. Verlander booed yesterday by the Mets in his home debut. He had been sharp his first 2 starts, wasn't good yesterday, gave up 5 runs over 6. Scherzer, it's been a mess. I mean, ERA north of 5 right now for a guy who's almost 40. Like, that's not a good sign when you have a couple of aging aces in their 40s. But even after that, the problem is there's no other help. David Peterson, one of the starters, he's got an ERA of 7.5. Closer-wise, they miss Edwin Diaz, who was such a lockdown guy for them. So I'm actually surprised they're only 3 games under 500. I know everybody can say there's time, but they got to shake some stuff up right now. Like, this is a tough time to make trades. You never see trades this early in the lineup, but maybe you call up a guy like Vientos, you send down somebody, you release somebody. Like, you kind of shape up that locker room. And again, Buck's as good as manager as we know. I think he's a great guy. Obviously, worked at MLB Network and ESPN. So if anybody can figure it out, it's Buck. But they're in trouble because I'm telling you right now, it's May 17th. They're not catching the Braves. I know the Braves had a 10.5 game deficit a couple years ago, came back on the World Series. The Mets are not going to catch the Braves. Atlanta's too good. The Mets have to fight for a wild card spot, and it has to start as soon as possible. It starts with the hitting.
Oh my goodness. 3 Dom DeMarcos. 2 Ric Flairs. 2 Don Cannons.
Cannon.
And a Chris Tucker, too. Bring it on home.
Get the Chris Tucker there. I like it. It's different.
Listen, we have it all here, man. We got it all here.
Yahtzee.
I gotta get the NWO music. I should have had it for when you came on, but the goal in the future is to really get the band back together. Have a triple cast. Have you, have Mike, just riffing like the old. That it's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen. And I told,
by the way, I still listen to the shuffle, and it's great. Mike is awesome.
Yes,
Femi does an excellent job. But I do miss the pop culture minute. I miss all the Sopranos references by Mike. So you're right. We need to get the band back together again, just for the pop culture minute.
The whole first 5 or 10 minutes of the pod was just. I started the cold intro. It was too funny. I was like, "Welcome to episode 12 of The Sopranos." I'm joking. It's not episode. And Mike lost it. He was like, "Oh
he did?
wow,
oh,
yes,
great.
he loved it. He loved it." So, round of applause for The Sopranos one more time as always. Yeah. Oh man, so I know you got to get up out of here, Adnan. So we're gonna wrap here with Rapid Fire. This episode of Rapid Fire is brought to you by 2 things, of course. U-Goboy merch. Grab yourself some U-Goboy merch. ThingsGaloreUS at Etsy.com. That's my brother's AI company. I'll send you a link, Adnan. Great art on there. You can definitely grab yourself some. And last but not least, MLB Network with my main man, Adnan Virk, as always. So these are 21 questions. Once again, rest in peace to James Lipton. It gets hot. It's like MLB hot stove. Are you ready, Adnan? It gets
21
hot.
questions, rapid fire. Okay, I think I'm ready.
It's not fully 21 questions. It's more like 15 questions.
In honor of Lipton, I got you.
Gotcha. So rapid fire. Let's ride. All right. So Adnan Virk, what is your favorite word?
Charismatic.
Nice. What is your least favorite word?
February.
That sucks. That's my favorite. That's my birthday.
But it's the hardest way to go February. I can never say it properly.
It's all good. It's all good. In your group of friends, are you the one that's always late or the one that everyone brings their problems to?
I'm definitely not late. I might be a couple minutes late, but I'm not perennially late. They're probably giving me their problems. I'm a pretty good listener.
Oh yeah. I got a guy. Biggest pet peeve?
When people yawn, they don't cover their mouth.
Give me 2 savages for that, please.
I go ballistic. The next time I see someone go, you go, geez, come on, cover your mouth. Let's go.
Adnan stand-up special is available on Netflix. I'm joking. Worst fear?
Claustrophobia.
Oh, okay, it's a popular one. Favorite baseball player growing up?
I love Kirby Puckett growing up. Short,
nice.
round, just like me. Love that guy.
Give me 2 Dom DeMarcos for that. I love it. Favorite Drake song? This better be good. You're
back to back.
Oh, nice. Give me 2 savages for that.
Savage.
Back to back like the cover of Lethal Weapon. That's my guy. I love it. I love you, Aubrey.
Also because it works for the Jays, and I believe he was taunting Meek Mill at the time.
He was. The artwork was Carpenter hitting. Sorry, or Carter.
Joe Carter.
Carter. Yeah, my bad. Apologies. Favorite Sopranos character?
Michael Imperioli as Christopher. I love Moltisanti. He's the best.
Oh, nice. Give me a Dom DeMarco for that. I love it. That was Mike's was Uncle June, believe it or not. That was
Uncle June,
Mike's.
again, one liner after another. By the way, I met Imperioli once and I asked him, what was the key to playing Moltisanti? I said, this guy is a drug addict. He's an alcoholic. He abuses his wife. And he said, yeah, all that's true, but he's a hard worker. And he goes, that was the key to the character. I was like, at 3 a.m., he could get a phone call from Tony. Come here, we're going to dig up a grave, we're going to bury a body. He would do it. So that was the key. He's a hard worker.
That guy's living the dream. To go from Goodfellas to Sopranos, I think he was just in White Lotus, and he was amazing.
He did second season White Lotus, yeah.
Yes, so... And Jungle Fever with Spike Lee,
he's
too.
in Jungle Fever.
Yeah, round of applause for Michael Perioli. Oh, my God. Yeah, you get some love, too, buddy.
Wesley Snipes and Annabelle Senora. I love that movie.
That movie is that's a Spike Lee. That's one of his very underrated Spike Lee movies.
Without question, especially Sam Jackson.
Yes.
Playing Gator.
Facts.
Mom, I got a brand new dance for you. He's unbelievable in that movie.
Halle Berry was in there too.
Yeah.
Frank
Vincent from Goodfellas. He plays.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. A round of applause for Frank Vincent. Oh my
Frank
God.
Vincent's awesome.
We got applause for everybody, man. Oh man. We got a few more. We'll get you out of here, buddy. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Oh man, this is the eternal debate, right? I never want to piss people off, so I just want to ask what your opinion is. I don't think to me, when I think of the Christmas season, I don't think of it, but I don't get angry about it when people say if it is a Christmas movie. What do you say?
We did that topic on your. Of course it's a Christmas movie.
Okay, so you're all
Yes
in.
for me. And I remember I snuck that in on one of one of the last episodes of GM Shuffle around Christmas time. I think it was either you or Mike or someone had emailed me and was like, "Yo, add some questions in here for the pop culture." I was like, "Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?" And you guys did debate it on pop culture. It was funny. It was actually
An
great.
eternal debate. Yeah.
Yeah, forever. Few more. Best sports movie ever.
Raging Bull. I know it's not a conventional choice, but it has boxing. It's obviously about a boxer. It's about the battles inside the ring and outside the ring. So that's like a serious, dramatic one. I love $1 Million Baby as well. But if you want like a fun one, I'd go Major League. Great comedy, right? Love it.
Shout out to Chris Aballo. He said Major League. We had a live podcast jam here a couple of days ago, and my boy Chris Aballo said that one. So he's gonna love this episode. You're the GM for the Yankees, and you can sign one superstar to pair with Aaron Judge in the offseason. Who is it and why?
Ohtani. I give him $700 million, and we're good to go. He can pitch, he can hit, he can do it all. To me, that's a no-brainer. Ohtani's incredible, and I originally thought we'd get $500 million. Somebody said 6. I think Harold's would have threw 700, which I'm like, this is insane if this happens. But I would get Ohtani as soon as you could.
In that porch, he'd hit 90 home runs every year. Like it'd be something ridiculous like that, and I'm all for it.
As long as he stays healthy,
yes.
Ohtani, sky's the limit, dude. He's awesome.
Absolutely, Ohtani. Round of applause for Ohtani. Oh my God. Last 3, and we'll get you out of here, buddy. Favorite snack?
If we're going unhealthy snack, I would have to go with Milk Duds, which is great at the movies. Like if I'm Milk Duds, usually put it in the popcorn. I like Doritos nacho cheese. But yeah, Milk Duds is tried and true.
Oh, that's a first, and you can't go wrong there. Celebrity crush growing up?
Well, to this day, it's Monica Bellucci, who I just had.
Oh my God! Round of applause, Lord.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know what? I'm giving a round of applause to Monica Bellucci. She's unbelievable. I'm 44. She's 58 years old, and
Still.
I had her on Cinephile 2 weeks ago for a film called Mafia Mama with her and Toni Collette. By the way, it's really funny, entertaining. Mike would love it because it's all mob jokes and like all that mafia stuff. Ugo, she came on the Zoom. I had to take a second. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it's Monica Bellucci.
Savage for that. Give me a savage for that.
Savage.
Like I had to do like a deep breath, like let's go through it. At the end, I flirted with her a little bit, spoke a little Italian. Due la più bella ragazza nel mondo. She's like, oh, thank you. I'm like, oh my God, Monica Bellucci. By the way, currently dating Tim Burton. I love Beetlejuice. I love Batman, but my man is out kicking his coverage with Monica Bellucci.
Oh yeah. I know you did Batman, bro, but come on, man. Anyway, but yes, Monica Bellucci. One more round of applause, Monica Bellucci. She's been in my top 5 forever. Woo! Oh, that's top tier stuff. And last but not least, bring it on home. What is one job you think you would be good at if you weren't in sports media?
Director, of course, making movies. I think I'd be great on set, ordering people around, looking at certain shot selection, working with the actors. If I couldn't work in sports, I'd figure out some way to get into movies.
Oh, yeah. Give me 5 Ric Flairs. Give me 2 Dom DeMarcos. Give me 2 Don Cannons.
Cannon.
Hey, give me a Rick. Give me a Chris Rock. Chris Tucker. Give me Chris Tucker. Oh man, that was rapid fire. That was rapid fire with Adnan Virk. It was warm, but he made it. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Before you let me go, this is the
Yes.
biggest reason that I agreed to this podcast.
Yes.
Story.
Go for it.
So we're doing the GM Shuffle together.
Yes.
This is after a couple months, and I sent you a text. I said, Ugo, awesome job here. Really appreciate you. And you wrote back, thanks so much, Chris. And I said, oh my God, he thinks I'm Chris Corcoran. I'm going to have to keep this joke on a little bit. So then I text you a couple of times to go, how do you think Mike and Adnan are doing? And you're like, great. They're really good. They have great chemistry together. I'm like, well, good. I tell Cook. I text Rich Cook. He's on the floor laughing. He's like, how long has this been going? I go, at least 6 months. I text Lombardi in the morning because this is amazing. At one point, our contracts are coming up, and I'm like, Ugo, do you think that Adnan and Mike should get renewed? Now I'm like, it could get risky. Because you might go, I think Adnan's kind of a pain in the ass, but I like Mike. Like, here we go. But you wrote back, totally good friend, good guy. Like, honestly, they're awesome, Chris. You should keep them. I'm like, all right, thanks so much, Ugo. Appreciate it. I forget to pay off the joke to you. I'm going to FaceTime you and pay off the joke to you, but then the shuffle ends, whatever. I'm like, it's done. I remember that I didn't pay off the joke when you texted me 2 weeks ago, still thinking I'm Chris. when you said to me, Chris, I have some news to pass on, I go, oh my God. I really tell Cook, and he's like, I can't believe you never paid off the bid.
Oh my God.
So when you emailed me so you can come on my pod, I said, of course. And then you said, what's your cell? And I go, I can't give that to you yet. I have to tell this story that you think I'm Chris Corcoran. So now I'll give you my cell. You already have my cell. You're the best, Hugo.
Give me 10 savages for that.
Savage.
Oh my God.
Savage.
That is, I'm speechless. That's hard to do. That is hard to do. And man, I love you, man. I love you. You're what dreams are made of. Wow.
Blown away right now. I knew it. Hugo's gonna be like, oh my God. It was over a year that this joke was going.
This whole segment, I'm definitely clipping and putting on YouTube. I can't. I got nothing. One more time, round of applause for Adnan Virk. Or Chris Corcoran, whoever wants to go by. Adnan, real quick, where can people find you? And then I'll bring it all home. I'll wrap it up.
All right, Twitter and Instagram, Adnan S. Virk. As always, MLB Network, Monday through Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern with the great Harold Reynolds. And of course, Cinephile, my movie podcast on Apple Podcasts, wherever you subscribe to your podcast. That is to the Meadowlark family and my main man, Dan Lebertard. Hugo, it's been a pleasure, man. I wish you much success always, and I love doing the pod. This was awesome.
Thank you so much. I'll bring it on home. As always, you can find me, U-Goboy88. That's on everything. TikTok, IG, Facebook. U-Goboy.com. Round of applause. We just, as I announced on the last episode, we just crossed 1 million views on TikTok and YouTube. Oh my goodness. So again, thank you so much to the fans. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. U-Goboy Music, stream U-Goboy Music now. And then I'll send you some videos as well. Or Chris Corcoran.
You listen, you've got to clip off the thing when you think of
Oh, I will. Yeah, that might be I might make that the intro. Lord have mercy. That's hilarious. That's amazing. But thank you so much. Shout out to the Base Podcast as always. One more time, round of applause for Adnan Virk. I'll bring it on home like this. That's the belt. That's the other belt. That's Adnan Virk. Love you guys. Yahtzee.
I don't care about the top 10, your top 5, or who the best is. Money straight, my fam straight, I'm George straight, that's Texas. Angel wings on a Lambo, praise the Lord, that's a blessing. Bentley truck like Lex Luger, yeah nigga, I'm flexing. I'm Richard Sherman, I back it up. And your mama, I stack it up. Hey Poppy, yo Gotti, swear to God, I rack it up. Still Jersey, that's all day.
You go, boy.
Yahtzee.